Yeah, I don't know the
You
answer
talked
to
about
that.
personal responsibility as well. Where does the line of personal responsibility come in? And I don't know if it was today, but when I say either act or yourself, I guess you kind of are act.
Well, no,
But you've made a statement about the 10% increase on tobacco, for example, being pointless. And there was an article from 2018 where you guys wanted a 75% reduction in tax on tobacco. There it is there.
Yeah, and look, I think that's actually the right thing to do.
Why?
Because, first of all, you got to ask three questions. Well, let me say again. You got to ask three questions about any policy. What's the intent? How effective has it been? And what's the side effects?
Yeah.
Well, the intention presumably was to reduce smoking rates.
Yeah.
The effectiveness is that smoking rates actually went down faster for the 5 years before the policy was introduced than the first 5 years of rolling 10% increases. And what are the side effects? Well, the government now takes $2 billion a year, mainly out of the poorest households in New Zealand. Getting rid of that tax on nicotine is one of the most profound poverty reduction processes that the government could possibly go through.
So what do we do? If the tax is not going to work, I mean, you would agree that smoking is bad?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think
a bad health system.
I think it's bad.
Are you a smoker?
No,
Have you been a smoker?
No. I mean, I think it's bad, but the question is not whether I think it's bad. I think lime milkshakes are bad. Yeah, that's different from my political position. And my political position is, look, if people want to do it, then fine. It's not the end of the world. I think it's ultimately a bad choice for your life, but it's not the end of the world.
So that feels a bit libertarian.
Yeah. Well, look, who am I to say that, I don't really know you. I don't know if you smoke. I don't know what your aspirations are or your position. Who am I to say whether or not you should smoke or not? I can tell you all the statistics and the facts, and there's a chance it'll kill you, and heart disease, and all the rest. I mean, I get it. I can tell you all that. But honestly, as a politician sitting here right now, can I tell you if it's really in your best interest or not? I don't know enough about you.
Well, I think I think when you say things like lime milkshakes, you can make that argument, but smoking is bad for you.
You tried a lime milkshake? You're an idiot.
I mean, when I was in my 20s and stuff, I enjoyed the odd cigarette with a beer and stuff. I mean, I'm sure most of it are the same. I mean, are you a smoker now?
No. I have been in the past.
Yeah, so we've all done it in the past. We've all figured out a way to get over it. But surely you sitting there saying, I can't tell you whether it'll be good or bad for you. But about smoking, you can say if smoking will be good or bad for you.
Well, no, because it depends on what your overall aspirations are.
Like if I want to die 15 years early.
No, you might not want to do that, but you might decide that you get something out of it that is worth the risk, and that's your personal values. Okay. It's not up for me because you think about it. For me to answer the question of whether you should smoke or not, I have to know what's important to you.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
And I don't know what's important to you, and just think about it for a moment. Wouldn't it be weird if I did?
Yeah, I actually accept what you're saying. It's fair enough, but I accept it as fair enough if it's consistent as well. So in other words, surely you must support things like, and I'll use silly things like helmets on motorbikes. We shouldn't worry about that if it's my choice. If I get more enjoyment about having the wind in my hair than the safety of the helmet, ACT would support that. Well, what about things like cannabis, heroin, that kind of stuff? You're not going to sit there and say it's bad for me if it's. If my choices imply it isn't.
There's a different argument if there are spillover effects on other people.
Sure.
So, the example of the helmet on the motorbike.
Yep.
I guess really the question is, are you prepared to pay the price of that risk? And it's not actually
the same as smoking. There is a price to that as well.
Yeah, and so
it might be a 40-year price rather than a 40-second price.
Well, I'm talking about the cost to others mainly through the health system. So the interesting thing is that because smokers tend to die earlier, they collect less super.
Yeah.
But they still pay quite a lot of tax in the meantime. And, I mean, they do cost a little bit more to the healthcare system, but not much because everyone's got to die of something. Right. Smokers aren't necessarily more expensive. And then they pay a huge amount of excise tax on nicotine. So, when you put it all together, smokers are like fiscal heroes to the nation. Like, we couldn't do without them.
It sounds like what you're saying is if you can afford to make bad decisions, that's fine. If you can't afford to make bad decisions, then it's okay for us to regulate.
Well, there's to a certain extent that's always going to be true. I mean, if you have more money, you have more choices. Yeah. That's absolutely. Try buying a car. Try going dining tonight. Whatever you do, if you have more money, you have more choices. That's not something I've invented. That's just the way the world's been for a long time.